Back with us, John Morris Show on a Monday. Sun is shining here in Central Texas. Glad you are with us, and what an honor and a treat to have Tony Caridi with us this morning, voice of the West Virginia Mountaineers, longtime voice of the Mountaineers. 1 week from tonight, he'll be at the NSMA Awards dinner receiving the Woody Durham Voices of College Sports Award. And Tony joins us now. Welcome to you, sir. We appreciate your time this morning.
How are you, my friend? Good to be with you, John. It's my pleasure as always, buddy.
I'm doing great. Hope you are as well. You got that summer growth going there. Looks good.
Yeah, so never really do beards, but I started it. We were leaving vacation, and this is like 5 weeks. I think it's coming off tomorrow. So you're seeing the last day of it. It was all right. Yeah, it's fine while it lasted, but it'll be coming off.
I got you. Very good. How was Omaha? How did you like that experience?
It was, and I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment or recency bias, but I tell you what, John, it was one of the best sporting events I've ever had the opportunity to attend. And unfortunately, I've been to Final Four, and I've been to the big bowl games. And I just think this, as kind of we thought about it, when you go to an event that, number one, is so incredibly embraced by the people that are hosting it. That's one. When there's 8 teams, so you get all that fan feel. And then probably the biggest thing is you're not eliminated after you lose once. Whereas, in basketball, whatever tournament you're in, as soon as you get beat, you're done. And so at least you're going to stay a while. The weather was above what it normally is seasonally. People told us that it's normally hot and humid and yucky. It was perfect. So as a result of all of that, I think it was the nicest, funnest, best thing that I'd ever been to sporting-wise.
Yeah, I said the same thing. Baylor went in 2005, and it's just, and that was back at Rosenblatt, which would have added another layer. You would have loved Rosenblatt, but it was great. But I felt the same way. It was one of the best sporting events I'd ever been to with Baylor. So I hear where you're coming from. And then the Mountaineers did really well. One of the Final Four teams still standing. That just made it that much more fun, didn't it?
It did. And, this was something that they were working toward, but I don't think anyone thought like this was the year. And I think if you watch this tournament, you never know when the year is, whether you think it is or not, right? You had a 1 seed in UCLA with 6 losses in the regular season. They get eliminated before Super Regional. Georgia Tech, a lot of people thought they could be the team that wins it all. They get beat early on. They don't make it. And in fact, none of the teams that made it this year were in it last year. So as we all know, it's super hard. So you kind of take a hold of the rope once it comes your way and you hold on real tight. But Steve Saban's the head coach of West Virginia, who is a Texas guy, just did an incredible job of just bringing the team together. And he's got talented players. There's no question about that. But he squeezed every ounce out of the sponge that they had in them. And obviously it whets your appetite, and you hope that it doesn't, it's not every 130 plus years, because that was our first visit ever. So you hope you get back there.
Yeah, and I told you this. It was fun listening to Andrew, your son, and Jake Weghorst, former Baylor pitcher, listening to those guys. Pass it along, man. They did a great job, and I was tuned in and kind of living vicariously through them. So it had to make you proud to have Andrew doing the College World Series baseball games.
Yeah, I really was happy for him, because the way that those games played out, he had some absolute drama-filled games. And as you know, as any announcer, you want the great ending, you want the big call. And because West Virginia got beat in its second game in the regional, they had to come back and win 3 straight, and they had to rally in the 9th inning against Kentucky and then hold them off after they led 5-1 against Kentucky, and it was a tied game. So he had drama plays. I tease him. He also has the WV women's basketball team. Right. And as you know, they won the Big East, the Big 12 tournament title. And so he had a great run. I said, dude, you gave me a 4-win football season, and I had to go through I had to go through it, but we're all good. In all honesty, the department's in a really good position right now. We had great success in the 2 sports I just mentioned, among others. So we're positioned, I think, pretty good.
Very cool. And that regional, the come from behind wins, dramatic wins over Kentucky. I mean, you blew out Cal Poly in the supers, but those regional wins were just so dramatic. And it was fun to see kind of the country, the whole country discover Country Roads Take Me Home. Wasn't that fun?
It was an oddity. As you know, most of the time when television broadcasts are over, I mean, as soon as the final out is made, maybe you get a little bit and they're gone.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they stayed on the air and they aired the playing of Country Roads, where the entire team goes down the third base line at home, and the entire crowd, it was just jammed in the stadium. And then there's a big hill outside of the stadium, and that was packed with people. So it became an iconic moment. And I'll tell you what, offshoot of all of this, John, it's just crazy how Country Roads has become this anthem literally around the world. And our fans say, hey, I was in this country or that country. But like, for example, the U.S. men's soccer team won this weekend, and they immediately they started playing Country Roads. And so it's caught on, and you just kind of, again, squeeze every ounce out of it and enjoy it while you can.
It's really cool to see. And I mean, NBC Nightly News did a story on Country Roads. So that's national. So that's really cool. You know, another fun part that I don't know how many people would think about, you would, but Mike Montoro, who does such great work for the U.S. Baseball Writers Association, he got to write and send out the release that Steve Sabins was the National Coach of the Year. I was thinking about Monty, how fun that was for him to be able to do that.
He goes to the World Series every year, and as you said, has a big role with the baseball writers. He's the sports information director for WVU football, and so you know him, and I know him obviously through that. Yeah, but for him to write the release for all the years that he has gone there, and it turns out to be the West Virginia baseball coach and Steve Sabins, that was absolutely a special moment.
Very cool. Very cool. Tell him we thought about him with that.
Absolutely.
Congratulations on the you being announced as the winner of the Woody Durham Voice of College Sports Award. And let me let people know how significant this is. Named after Woody is one thing. Longtime, 40-plus year voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels. So well respected. This award recognizes professional college broadcasters who fit the following criteria: preparation, association with his or her school, tenure at the school, efforts in the community, mentorship of young broadcasters, and character. And Tony, that's you. Check, 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 all those. So congratulations to you.
Well, I really appreciate it. And coming from you, that means a great deal. I was totally blindsided when I received the call from Dave Gorin of the organization. He said, hey, you're this year's winner. And I went like, whoa, where did that come from? You know, ironically, I guess it is, not coincidentally, but ironically, when I was a student broadcaster at Syracuse, Syracuse played North Carolina at the Carrier Dome, and my assignment before we played them was that night, hey, go over and get an interview with their play-by-play announcer, and it was Woody Durham. Yeah. And you know what, John, I'll tell this story next week when the event happens, but like, you just looked at him and I did that interview, and I truly remember this, that you walked away and you said, I said to myself, that is how you're supposed to be, look, act when you're the play-by-play announcer for another team's school. And then, you know, years later, 1996, we're playing those guys in the Gator Bowl, and there he is. We're sharing the booths, and the window was side by side, so I could see him. And he had just flown in from Rome, where the NC basketball team was playing. And as a result of that, it makes it even more special for me. And then obviously, you know, his sons, right, are both broadcasters as well. Wes is a broadcaster that we all know from the Atlanta Falcons. And excuse my wife for walking by me because she has no idea that we're on camera right now.
Yeah, let's get her in.
And she has her earbuds in, and she didn't even hear me say that. So, yeah, it's good. Anyway, so it's an honor.
A tremendous honor, and you are so deserving of that. Doesn't it mean more, you know, that it's named after Woody, and you know him? Yeah, no, there's no question. And you know, the other part of it, I didn't know what the
criteria were to get it. But one of the things is like you try to mentor young broadcasters. And again, that's something that goes all the way back to school. I remembered when I was a senior, and you know this as well, like there's no roadmap to do this. Like if you're going to become a CPA or something, like you do this in school, then you study for this test, and you're like to be a play-by-play person, like no, there is no direct path. It's just a circuitous route that you go through. And I did say to myself at that time, like if I ever get a chance to help other people that want to do this, I'm going to, because to be quite honest with you, I kind of felt like, how do you do this? Yeah. And fortunately, I came to West Virginia 7 weeks after I graduated from Syracuse. And over the course of time, we have hired well over a dozen Syracuse alums and given them their opportunity and their first start. You know, guys like Dave Jagler's the voice of the Washington Nationals, Dave Pash, who's the voice of the Arizona Cardinals, and you see him on ESPN a ton. And we had a bunch of guys. Sagar Magani's the national security correspondent for the Associated Press. We've had guys go all over the place. And so to me, that's what makes it feel great that at least you had a little bit of opportunity to kind of mentor or direct some people into, you know, hey, do this, don't do this. And so that makes it even more special.
Very cool. That Newhouse School of Broadcasting at Syracuse, very impressive. Of course, you're a product of that, maybe second only to Baylor's broadcasting school. I'm not sure. But tell our viewers, who were some of the guys you were in school with?
Yeah.
They know their names now.
We had an unbelievable class. So Sean McDonough, who will be at the event next Monday, he's going to be receiving the National Sportscaster of the Year. We were in the same suite. Craig Minervini was my roommate. He's been down in South Florida, Florida Marlins, Florida Panthers for years. Greg Papa is the voice of the San Francisco 49ers. For years, he was the Raiders' voice. He's one of the preeminent West Coast guys. He's battling some serious health issues right now, so we lift prayer up to him. 1 year younger and hanging around Dan Horde, who you know, Cincinnati Bengals. He was a junior when we were seniors, Bengals and the Cincinnati Bearcats. Jim Jackson in that same group, we used to hang around together. He's the voice of the Philadelphia Flyers. Rich Cimini, who you see on ESPN.com for the New York Jets. And then a few years later, this kid named Mike Tirico showed up. Bill Roth, voice of the Virginia Tech Hokies for 25 plus years, was a freshman. So we had an incredible group of guys. And, you know, I was talking with Greg about this recently. The convergence of all those guys that wanted to do the same exact thing made it a very competitive atmosphere, but it was friendly competitiveness. Yeah. And as a result, like still to this day, I mean, I'm on a text line with those guys that I was in school with and all of those younger dudes like Tirico and Ian Eagle and now Noah Eagle and so many of those other guys. So it does become a fraternity, and it's pretty amazing through the years how all of those guys, you know, went in there and then came out of there and were able to find work.
That's pretty cool. That's a good text string to be on.
It's interesting at times. Like they're much more. What's interesting is like they're totally into Syracuse athletically, and like I'm not. Yeah. and so I do find it funny. My phone will start blowing up, and I'm like, well, "What's going on?" I'm looking at Syracuse lost a game, or there was a bad call or something, and they're still after, and I'm going like, "Yeah, whatever. I'm good. I'm worried about West Virginia. I'm not really worried about that."
That's funny. That's really cool, and great career for you at West Virginia. What about the banquet? It's next Monday, right? The 29th?
Right. So Sunday Sunday you show up, and Monday, as you know, they have the seminars during the days, and then Monday night is the banquet and the awards. Yeah.
Yeah. And have you been before to one of these?
I have been to a couple of them through the years. They're fun, right? I mean, you get all these nerdy, weird play-by-play guys all in one room. It makes for an interesting atmosphere.
Good conversation. That'll be fun. Yes. I'd love to be a fly on the wall. If it was any closer, man,
I know it's a shot.
Be there, you know. So, well, enjoy that. Soak that up. Baseball kind of extended your school year to last week, but I hope you get a little summer. Do you have any plans coming up for the summer?
Yeah. Already did one trip. I snuck it in, but well, actually, it was like toward the end of the regular season. We did Normandy. And then we went into Italy, and I've been advocating for anyone I talk to ever since. If you ever have the opportunity to go over there and see what it was, what it is, and what our American soldiers, among the other countries' soldiers, did, that will leave you a great new perspective when you look up and you see those cliffs and what they had to go through. So that was an all-timer. So that was really, really good. And then obviously Italy wasn't about war; it was about food. So that was good as well.
Which you know pretty well.
Yeah.
Did the real Italian food did it match up?
Yeah. In fact, I've got this ongoing problem with our athletic director right now. Your buddy, Ren Baker. We were in Vegas for the college basketball thing there in April, we were at a fancy restaurant, and he asked the waiter if he could put Alfredo sauce on his veal parmesan, and I felt embarrassed at that time. The waiter kind of looked at him like sideways head, and he said, "I'll ask the chef." Came back. She said, "The chef will make it." And so I was just crushing Ren ever since then. Like, I don't even believe you have the audacity to ask a poor guy to make that. That's not Italian. And so now Ren's gone to the point where it's become a big thing on our podcast, and the local restaurant has now created a dish called Renfredo. So when you come to Morgantown, you can get Alfredo on your Parmesan, and it's actually, unfortunately, it's become very popular.
Oh my gosh. You just cringe at that, don't you?
Yeah, I did. It's because if you go to Italy and ask for Alfredo, they what are you talking about? That's not what they don't make Alfredo in Italy. That's an American thing. So anyway, I tell Ren, since he's an Oklahoma guy, all that is chicken fried steak on veal parm. That's all that is.
That's great. I love that. Thanks for sharing that. What'd you think of the crown? It missed out. Baylor was there. Missed out on the NCAA tournament. Yeah. But you guys did well. Did you play the championship?
We won the thing, yeah. So we played our buddy Toby Rowland at Oklahoma.
That's right.
And I was doing the math yesterday. Obviously, Toby's still in the College World Series, and hope they play well tonight. But that was 11 weeks ago yesterday that we were in the finals of the college basketball crown. So my answer to it is, we beat Stanford in the first game and come from behind fashion. Had we lost that game, I probably would have walked out of there and go like, what did we do that for? But instead, we beat Creighton, and then we beat Oklahoma. And I thought it was one of the greatest things ever, because, as you know, when you win something and the way they did it again, rallying, coming back from behind, it was a great exclamation point to a first season for Ross Hodge, who I'm sure a lot of your fans, were familiar with from the University of North Texas. And so it was a good way to end that season. Those guys really were nice kids. And now it set him up. They had a good recruiting class. And I know we come to your place in hoops this year. You guys don't come up here, but we'll be more talented. We'll be bigger. Exactly how that translates to the number of wins and losses, you don't know, because we play in the players era in Vegas, and that's obviously big boy competition early on in the season. So we'll see, but we'll be more talented than we were a year ago.
I got you. That's good. Yeah, we'll be in the players era tournament again, so I'll see you there. Are you coming to Frisco in a couple of weeks?
I am not, because I'm going to do another vacation. I'm going to go to Maine.
Oh, that sounds nice.
I've never been to Maine. People rave about Maine, so we're going to do Maine.
Nice. Very good. Well, enjoy that. Enjoy the banquet next Monday. Congratulations again. Know how proud we are for you, and how good a representative you are of the name on this award. So congratulations on that. It's great to catch up, and I will see you and talk to you down the road.
I appreciate it very much, John. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it, buddy. Be good. See you.
Thanks for your time. Tell Ren hello. Tell Andrew hello. Tell your wife we need to get more camera time for her to come back through anytime.